Okay, well, hello and welcome to this video update, which is about our flu and COVID booster program. Let me just introduce myself. So, my name is David Latimer, and I am the business manager for Moatfield Surgery. And I just felt it was maybe a good idea to give this a go. We haven't really done this before, and actually update our patients on something just with a video. I'm going to put this on Facebook, and I'm hoping that the people in the What's Happening in East Grinstead Facebook group might benefit from this video. It's also worth saying that our program this year, it covers the whole of East Grinstead, including the modality practices. So this is still relevant to anyone who's registered at modality. So let me just take you through a few things because this year, as we know, with every area of life, there has been some changes. Any David Bowie fans out there, I'm sure there must be some will know this song. The changes. There's been lots of changes, and it's affected everything, but particularly has affected the way we work in general practice. It's affected our vaccination programs, and I'll explain more about that as I go along here. But we're definitely sensing that there's a need to just communicate with people to explain what's happened and how things have impacted, particularly the flu program this year. So I will take you through it. Just bear with me. I'll take you through some slides and just try and explain what's going on here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with how it usually works. That's where I'm going to start. Most people will know this instinctively now, but it's just to spell it out. Okay, so how it usually works, if we get a timeline up, and what happens is we've got a number of people who are eligible for a flu jab. So, for instance, at Moatfield, there's about 9,500 patients who are eligible for flu. That's about 62% of our patient list. And it's chunked up into different categories. A lot of our patients are done at the school. Um, and the point here is it's a massive undertaking. Every year, the flu program is one of those big, massive undertakings that we sort of gird our loins for as we're approaching the winter. And so, how it usually works is around about May, we'll be starting to plan how we're going to do flu this year. And then, really, just around September, we'll start doing maybe one or two big clinics. We'll try and get maybe a couple of thousand of our patients done. And then, maybe then in October, early October, we'll then try and get the rest of our massive cohorts of patients done. We'll be aiming to get 3 or 4 thousand patients done around those times, and it will be a mixture of big clinics that we'll do at the weekends and then midweek capacity as well. That's how it usually works. But let's just consider the pandemic factor because it's been a factor definitely. Okay, so we'll move on to the pandemic factor. You've got how it usually works here, and I'll just try and illustrate how the pandemic's impacted our program this year, the things that have come in and affected things. So firstly, you come in with the COVID eligibility. We know it's a massive program. It came in very quickly. It was a national emergency that led to it. So lots of eligible people. So you've got there, different numbers of eligibility for these two vaccines side by side, and pretty much 80% of our patient list now is kind of eligible for some sort of COVID vaccine. So you've got another massive program that's coming, and then it's also hit us at the start of the year. So when we might be usually looking at a flu clinic, a big thing coming at the end of the year, actually beginning of the year in January, this massive program started for COVID vaccines. And then what we've had as we've sort of looked at the year ahead is questions about how the COVID vaccine is going to work, because honestly none of us know, and we're waiting for the latest guidance just as the public are. It started in January, then second jabs came in around April, May time. As of August this year, we had no idea what was happening with a booster jab. We had no confirmation of a booster jab. And you can start to see the things colliding together as we're planning for a massive flu clinic here. No confirmation of our booster vaccinations. It was then quite difficult to plan how we were going to do this because we were anticipating COVID boosters coming in around about now, earlier this year. So that question was always hanging over us. Okay, so what we then had was confirmation early September, okay, that the booster jabs were coming in, but that they must be 6 months following the second jab. So more complicating factors are starting to crowd into this picture, so that the slide's deliberately starting to get busier and busier. And then there's just one more thing that's really, really affected our program this year that I just need to outline to people, and that is that actually this whole lorry freight delivery driver shortage actually affected our flu vaccine deliveries. At least it did for Moatfield. It's done for other surgeries. We had a delay for one of our vaccine deliveries for patients over 65. It actually came in right at the end of September. There was one point where they were saying it might be mid-October. So there's been lots of complicating factors that have affected this program this year. And effectively, what's really then happened is it's kind of shunted on the start date. So you kind of wipe out that September start date. So we're usually inviting people around August, early September. Because of these factors, it's caused a delay to invites and start dates. It's kind of pushed it along here. So it's pushed it along to a start date of October, which is basically what's happened. We've just started doing our very first mass clinics. It says October there, so the 29th of September was the first mass clinic at the rugby club. Um, so yeah, that's been the pandemic factor. It has impacted the start date and the start date of our invites as well. So everything's kind of been shunted along about a month. So everyone's used to it kind of kicking in a lot earlier than this. So we're sorry for the delays. We are sorry about that. But I'm just trying to explain some of the complicating factors here that have crowded in on us. And I think looking at this picture, as we planned for the year ahead, particularly if you go back to last year and we think about a COVID program started in January, we're trying to get ourselves back up and running following, coming up for oxygen from a very difficult year where we had to basically change our services overnight several times. I think there was probably week on week periods last year where we changed our services every week for months on end. So yeah, a lot of fatigue. And we just realized that actually we needed help. Okay, sometimes you just got to acknowledge that you need some help with something. And we felt we got to that stage, like a lot of surgeries did, where we needed help. And that's where really Alliance for Better Care come in. And I just want to explain a little bit about Alliance for Better Care, because you should be hearing about them. Who are they? What are they here for? Well, this is the kind of a screenshot from their webpage. And really, our GPs are shareholders of Alliance for Better Care. It is what's called a federation. So it's an organisation that covers a lot of GP surgeries in Surrey and Sussex. Pretty much all GP surgeries in Surrey and Sussex are signed up as shareholders for Alliance for Better Care. There might be the odd one or two that aren't. It's a not-for-profit organisation. That's really, really important. The things that they do, the services they help us with, it's not for profit. They simply deduct their costs from that. They're not here to make a profit out of these things. And what they really do is they help us. They do a lot of things, but one of the things they really help us with is deliver services what we call at scale. For instance, a COVID booster program, sorry, a COVID vaccination program that covers, thousands and thousands of patients. And Alliance for Better Care can provide that link for, say, if we need to deliver it in East Grinstead for the whole population, as opposed to the traditional model, which is, Moatfield do their patients, Crawley Down do theirs, Judges and Ship Street, etc. We were actually told that the COVID program really did have to be delivered to the whole town. So Alliance for Better Care were able to help us with that. They helped us with the boosters. And some of the things that, other things that they do, they help us with what we call our improved access hub, which is where we were told a few years ago we needed to provide GP appointments between 6:30 and 8 on a Monday to Friday, and also some Saturday and Sunday provision. Alliance for Better Care help us with that. So many of our patients will have been booked an appointment at the hub. And that takes place at Queen Victoria Hospital. Many of our actual Moatfield GPs do actually sessions for our local hub. So Alliance for Better Care help us with that. They've also helped us, as I've said, with the COVID vaccination clinics. And now we just thought we could do with help this year with flu and COVID vaccination clinics. That was our decision as a surgery, as a town, all the surgeries agreed that this year of all years, we could just do with their help with this. Yeah, that this program here that we're operating, it's kind of started October, it's kind of going to run through to December, January-ish. And it's really going to consist of either, go back, a flu jab and a COVID booster concurrently if you're eligible, and if you want to, it's your choice if you want to have them both at the same time or not. Or also, they will be doing flu jab only appointments. COVID booster can be done separately. That might be if you choose to have it done separately, even though you're due it. Or if you're just not due it for a little while, we can get you done for your flu jab now. And then your COVID booster will be picked up by Alliance for Better Care later. They're often referred to as ABC for your information as an abbreviation. So we've asked for their help for this year's program, but it does not mean we're not providing flu jabs in the future. Okay, that's really important. We've asked for their help this year. We won't rule anything out, but we probably would like to deliver these programs ourselves in the future if we can. This year it was so uncertain what was going to happen with COVID boosters. Hopefully next year we'll know more. But what it doesn't mean is we've completely outsourced flu jabs for good. We're never touching them again. We're involved in this. Dr. Deborah Allen, one of our GP partners, is the vaccine lead for East Grinstead. She's heavily involved in this program. We are not shedding this for good for the future. So it's worth saying that we just wanted help with this year's program to help us get through what was a very complicated period of time. Okay, so I'm just going to close this now. This really leaves you with two options. Okay, so you've got two options. You either wait to be invited, and you will be contacted eventually if you're eligible. You will be. The alternative is to contact a pharmacy. They'll only do flu for you. But if you really can't wait for the ABC team to contact you, you can contact a pharmacy. But we'd recommend, there's a lot of people that will be eligible for concurrent booster and flu in October and November. So that may well be the better option for everyone. Okay, so I really hope this has been a helpful way of sharing this with you. There's a lot of information to share. So I felt like maybe a PowerPoint with some vocals over the top might be a better way than a big, long, scripted, post on Facebook or on our website. So I hope this has been helpful for you to learn a little bit more about how things are working. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to close this all down, and I really hope you're well, and that we will contact you soon to get you booked in if you're eligible. Okay, thank you. See you later. Bye.